Happy New Year, fellas.
2020, baby.
Can
Does
you
it feel
believe
like
it?
it?
The Roaring
No.
20s.
The Roaring 20.
India's gonna be a superpower any second now. Just you wait.
I mean, my dick grew like half an inch today. It was sick.
That's awesome. You think that history repeats itself? So now, like, World War One is coming to an end, apparently, and this is just the 20s. The Great Depression's coming soon. 2027.
I mean, we just got through college, so the Great Depression just kind of ended, didn't it? Or did it just start? Or is it just starting?
It just started, I think. So you know.
My Great Depression. Do you guys have any New Year's resolutions?
I happen to have an entire page of New Year's resolutions.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Let me break out the file here.
Tim's coming. Oh my god. Tim's coming in guns blazing.
I gotta find it. I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. Would you guys like to hear it?
Yeah.
No.
Too bad.
To which one of us?
I'm not going to give my specific New Year's resolutions as I feel that's a bit personal and stunts your growth as a person.
Correct.
But I would like to talk about some of the most popular New Year's resolutions among Americans.
Wait,
what
so
do you-
these aren't even yours?
Well, obviously, I go with the flow. My goals are mostly everyone else's goals. So
Gotcha.
the big ones at the top of the list is people care deeply about fitness for about a week after the new year starts. I've been training for many years now, and I enjoy it a lot, but I'd like to take my personal health to the next level.
So you're trying to ascend, is what you're saying?
Level up.
I'm doing steroids. Can't wait. I'm gonna inject them between my toes. I'm gonna puff up like bubble wrap, and everyone's gonna love me. Don't do steroids, kids. Don't do steroids.
Okay, I was just about to ask if you're being serious.
No. Okay, so I want to cut sweets.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
And most everyone else on the planet who sees what sugar does to people wants to cut sweets as well. That's really it. It's a page of things, but most of these I was going to do anyway, and it just feels good to cross things off the list once you get them done, you know?
Right.
What do you guys? These don't have to be New Year's resolutions, but what do you guys have planned for the upcoming decade?
What's coming up?
The
Yeah,
upcoming decade.
You can't see it, but I'm rubbing
Dog.
my hands together.
I can
I'm
hear
plotting.
it.
I'm plotting, boys.
Oh, what's your plot?
No, I want you to go first, Eric, because I haven't thought of my plot yet.
That's why
He's plotting as we're
plotting.
speaking.
He's plotting his plot.
He's just thinking and rubbing his hands
That's why I'm
together.
rubbing my hands together.
I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat, like with the whole like fitness thing. Like, I'm gonna go to the gym every day. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna be so fit. I'm gonna have 27-inch arms. I'm gonna have I'm gonna have sport.
My guy's gonna look like a corn chip.
He's gonna have a stinking hot girlfriend.
I'm gonna fuck bitches. I'm gonna get a lot of money. I'm gonna.
People are gonna walk up to you and they're gonna be like, "Damn, are those 27-inch arms?" And then they just throw hundreds at you.
Those 26-inch arms, and you'll be like, no, they're 27 inches, sir.
Oh, you think I'm a 20? Those 26-inch armed guys, they don't know what they're talking about. But yeah, and then the whole washboard abs thing where I can actually literally wash my clothes off of my stomach. That's always the goal, man. No, I mean,
that's a good goal.
I think one of the big things for me is I want to be more, I guess, financially independent.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be like my main thing for this year. Tim, you said what are your goals for this decade? I don't think we're able to actually think about what's gonna happen 10 years down the road, because that's crazy. I saw a tweet. What was it? It was yesterday, and it was this decade for the people that grew up in the 1995 to 2005 range. People are going to be married. People are landing their jobs like this decade. By the end of this decade, all of our lives are going to be completely different, and I completely agree with that.
Oh yeah. That's definitely. I mean, no, you're right. You're definitely right.
Well, because we're literally we just got out of college. Well, I mean, Connor, do you consider yourself out, or are you still in it?
I'm fighting my way out.
You're in the thick of it.
I'm in the thick of it.
Consider it a privilege.
Ugh, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
But
Take me back, man.
sure.
Tim, do you miss it?
I miss not having loans to pay back. I like
I mean-
deferment. If I could just not go to college and have my loans deferred until, like, say I'm 850 years old, that'd be pretty good.
That'd be pretty nice, yeah.
Well, I think a nice thing about college was we were able to,
Bother each other.
bother each other all the time.
Yeah. It's you can't kick in my door and bother me anymore, Eric. It's really tough for you. I understand.
I know. I have to drive all the way out to you to
You have
kick
to
your
drive.
door
You
in.
have to drive 3 hours to kick my door in.
But like, I don't know. I miss it.
Yeah.
Moving
Yeah.
on.
Well, Connor, have you devised your plan yet?
I don't know. This will probably be the most important decade of our
for sure.
lives, between like the three of us, just from, our age bracket. Like you said, so many things are going to be different by the end. Like, this is the make or break decade. So, like, this is where we'll either be made, like, our path of life will be decided by 2030.
We're in the end game now.
a perfect fix. But I mean,
Classic.
we kind of are, though, because like you've got, like, in these next 10 years we have to, like, pick. I mean, like, you're still, like, at the entry job level phase, like, right now, but like your path will be, like, decided within the next couple years, like where you're gonna live, or like, I
That's
mean, like,
fucking scary.
Dead in an alleyway. Hype.
but that's got to be figured out now, so that's, like, crazy to think about. It's also crazy to think about, like, in 2010 I was just a fucking idiot in like 8th grade.
Dude,
So-
in 2010 I was playing Halo Reach, and now in 2020 I'm playing Halo
Playing
Reach.
Halo Reach.
Oh no.
Some things never change.
Oh my god, Connor, we were such fucking idiots in middle school.
Yeah, I wish I could go back and beat myself over the head with something.
I think that's a general consensus, though. I
Right.
think everyone hates themselves in middle
I
school.
think the rule of thumb is if you are not embarrassed about things you did in the past,
You did it wrong.
then you haven't grown as a person.
Right.
What if we never grew out of our middle school phase?
Oh, that'd be so cringe. Speaking of, I found a journal today. Like, back in 7th grade, like, I used to
Oh,
make
no.
comics. Eric
no,
and I,
Connor.
yes, I found that book. And it's just, like, weird what I thought would pass as, like, a story. And, like, some of the stuff I wrote was kind of cringe, too. Like,
Remember the Pokemon cards that we made?
right. Remember the shurikens, the paper shurikens I used to make?
That's a good topic. Remember the paper shurikens that we used as, like, currency?
Yeah.
Currency.
Oh, man. We, like... So, our school had its own fake currency that, like, they would give you for, like, being a good kid, It was like...
Yeah, they were called shillings.
Yes, they were shillings. Like
Yeah.
equivalent to it's about 30 Dogecoin if you're looking for a currency exchange. But we had multiple businesses during 7th grade where we would just collect shillings.
Did it start out with the pencils?
It
Did
started
start
out with the
pencils?
Oh, it started with the pencils, my man. I don't understand the marketing on that. They were like these very vibrant mechanical pencils, and my marketing strategy was that here's, like, one that's completely red. You can actually swap out the parts and, like, have different colors, like, on your thing. So you get some with your friends or whatever, and you can trade parts and have... I don't know how it worked, but it did. I had, like...
Yeah, no, we were able to, like, make our own custom pencils, and people were able to, like trade parts and stuff like that. What we should have done...
It was modular.
We should have just...
We
we should have
knew.
taken... We should have broken it all into parts and then sold the individual parts for shillings. And done, like, deals. That would have been smart. But whatever.
I mean, honestly, I'm really impressed that the first part even worked out. Like, the fact that we were able to convince people that had some value, these mechanical pencils, was awesome.
Yeah, so Connor started off the business. That was your entry business.
That was our entry level program. That was like
Yeah.
our venture program, if you will.
Yeah, and then it moved on to, so about halfway through 7th grade, we had this student come in, like, and we're not gonna name drop him. I don't even think that person knows that we exist anymore, but we know who he exists. We know who he is.
Oh yeah.
But he came in. He was a real cynical fucking kid.
He was an interesting man.
He was one of those kids that you could tip off like a light switch.
Right.
We're like,
Like someone would cut him in line to like put their journal away, and he would like under his breath be like, "Fuck you," like, "God damn it," but like he wouldn't say it out loud. Like he was like,
he was saying it under his breath.
right, like he was super. What's it called? Like he was like edgy. Like he was the original
yeah.
Edge. Like
Is this bullying? Do I need to report this?
no, because we haven't mentioned any names.
Oh,
However,
okay,
if
so
this
it's
nameless person
perfectly
would like
fine.
to defend themselves,
Are you saying that we're bullying, or are you saying that we were being bullied?
No, are you bullying?
We're not bullying.
I think
We're not
this.
name dropping anyone.
No, everybody makes mistakes when they're younger. Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
Eric, continue with this man.
But so this kid came in, and we adopted him into the friend group, and as it progressed, he came. Did he come in like one day and he had this this piece of paper that he folded into a
Oh,
little
yeah.
shuriken? Yeah, it was a
And he
little
was
like
good at it,
throwing
too.
star.
He was
and
like,
everyone was amazed by it.
yeah, and he's like, oh, it's super easy. I can make it in like 2 minutes, and everybody was like, oh, that's like sick. And so he was like,
Yeah, so he started pumping these bad boys out.
we gotta get these things going. We were in the
So
middle
he
of
started-
science class, like making. He was like a little factory, trying to teach everyone the
Literally.
inside trade of how to make this.
Do you still know how to make them, Connor?
I absolutely do not. I know that the paper has to be square.
Yeah.
I don't remember,
It
like-
took 2 pieces of paper.
Right.
I remember that too. But yeah, so we started manufacturing like paper shurikens and then selling them for more shillings. So that was the second adventure. So right now Connor has 2 major businesses going that's taking the entire school by storm.
Honestly, it was just. I was rich beyond my wildest belief.
Yeah, you were literally swimming in shillings. Like
I was
you could have literally
swimming.
smoked a joint with only shillings.
Right. But like my favorite thing about this mysterious man is he entered about like maybe a third of the way into the year, and he like left at the end of
Yeah,
seventh
he
grade.
just left.
And as
Yeah, what
mysteriously as he had entered, he had left our lives, never to be seen again.
I know, we've like there's literally no trace of him.
There's
never,
no
like,
evidence. We've looked
'cause,
up
like,
his
we've-
name.
Yeah, we
Everything.
found like people. Do you think he was real? What if he was just?
He
We
was-
both imagined him.
I think he was, honestly, at this point.
Well, like, no, because like because when we went into college, like I know you specifically, like you met up with some people from like our elementary school that we haven't talked to in like years.
Right.
But this kid entered our lives and then just exited, like he just.
Like he didn't stick around, and it's like one of those things where it's like, I don't remember his last name at all, because his first name is so memorable that like his last
Yeah.
name is forgettable. But
Yeah, I
just,
don't remember his last name.
I
either.
like we can't find him. The kid doesn't exist. He was definitely
Well,
a figment of our imagination.
We can name drop him, and if he listens to the podcast, he can come on and defend himself. He'll be
Nameless,
forced to.
nameless person, please come onto the podcast and defend yourself.
You know who you are. But yeah, so Connor started up this whole like ring of just like of selling stuff for shillings, and then at the end of the year,
Awesome.
we had like didn't we have like a? It wasn't like a raffle.
It was
we
a
were able to like
yeah,
cash them.
yeah, it was
We
like
were
a
able to
raffle.
like cash them in. Yeah. And so Connor shows up with this like what's it called? This stack of shillings, and the teachers were like, "How'd you get this many?"
Just a good kid.
Yeah. I'm very studious.
Very studious. But like we had like this raffle, and then they're like pulling names from it. Like you put like however many shillings you wanted in for like a raffle for like a gift card. And I remember like we were watching a movie because it was like near Christmas break, and like they're starting to pull names, and they pull a name, and then they like look at it and they're like, okay, and they put it to the side. They go in and they grab another name, and then they kind of like look at each other and like, okay, and they put it to the other side. They go in again. Like I remember, it's just like
I
watching
remember
this.
this.
I'm just watching them pull out the third one, and then they would both like look at each other like with shock and awe and put it to the side, and then I start seeing them like go in like searching. They were looking for I must have tainted the pile or something. Like they just kept pulling out my name.
Flooded the market.
I flooded the market, and they were like, "What the fuck? Somebody
Well,
else has got to
'cause-
win it."
That's called a cartel.
Or is it a monopoly?
It's a monop. I believe I put houses on those gift cards, maybe even a hotel.
But like, well, I think that the big issue was shillings weren't given out very often,
Right,
and so each person got about probably like 3 or 4 every like half a year.
right.
But Connor rolls up
With a stack.
like 30 of them.
I literally
Yeah.
had them in like a not like a lunchbox, but like one of those pencil boxes. It was just like a pencil box that was my money stash, and I just opened it up, and they were like, "Are these photocopied?" It's like, no, these are original. Because they
Do you
teachers
guys-
had to sign them. I'm pretty sure. So like they knew that they weren't like photocopied, I guess. But
Yeah, the teachers had to sign it.
so
Do you guys remember Silly Bands?
Do
Oh.
I ever?
yeah,
Tim, was Silly Bands a big thing in your town?
What, out in the sticks?
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
the
but
sticks.
I'm sure we got it later than you did.
information
90s
travels
happened.
slow by
Tim
moose.
was running on a 2-year lag, so Tim was in this like sophomore year of high school, and he's just getting Silly Bands then.
Hey,
It's like,
man,
what are
that's
these
not
cool
true.
contraptions?
They're called silly strings, funny
Bands?
bands. I
Bands
don't
on
know.
my wrist?
Ice on my. I don't know.
They didn't know that.
They were the pioneers.
I remember like there was one kid in particular. I remember like catching Storm like pretty quick, and then by like the end of week 1, there was a kid who had an entire sleeve of it, and it's like, dude, your circulation in your arm cannot
Yeah,
be doing hot.
I remember people used to have like their hands were stark white because there was no blood going to their hands. Those things are so like, you ever seen like the videos of people like taking rubber bands and putting them on watermelons and
Right,
the watermelons
just squeezing
explode?
them. Yeah,
Yeah. Like if you like tacked on like 3 or more packets of Silly Bands on these things.
I'm surprised there was no like heads up
Injuries?
like announcement or something about this. Like, please stop wearing 70 Silly Bands. You guys are cutting off circulation to your arms.
That's not the dumbest thing we've done in school.
You're right. The dumbest
Like, playing slaps is pretty bad.
slaps was that was dumb.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about slaps until
Or
you
bloody
mentioned that.
knuckles.
Why did we do the stupid shit that we did? We're just
Because no one
suckers for
stopped
pain.
us.
It's true.
Well, I mean,
Unsupervised.
is it a guy thing to just? Is it like inherently like embedded into our? I don't want to say genome, but like it just like, is it just embedded into us to just do stupid things?
That's how you learn.
You mean like as humans or just like
That's how you
males?
No,
learn.
no, I'm saying as males, because I think. I mean, I'm not trying to stereotype or anything like that, but I feel like males do a lot of stupid shit. But whereas like females, they're
Calculated?
yeah, it's more calculated, stupid.
It's
Like
calculated.
they think.
stupid.
Well, I mean, like, have you ever you've seen the thing where like it's like slow motion, and 2 guys are running at each other at full speed, and they jump in the air and they like clap each other's nuts at the same time. like you're not gonna see. Yeah, like I guess we just neglect to think of actual common sense. I think it's like the we're not thinking about if we could. It's a matter of if we should.
Right. Well, that's always like this is interesting because like there's like because college boy over here. I took a class of anthropology, so I know what I'm talking about here.
Really?
An intellectual, I
It's
see.
intellectual, but there's
He has the
Um,
receipts.
I have the receipts. Literally, the bills are coming in. But what was I saying? There's like Margaret Mead or somebody like that. Like she wrote about how she went to tribes and like the masculine and feminine ideas were like swapped there. So like I think that's kind of crazy that like I don't think it is inherent. Like I think it's taught. It's just crazy to think about.
It's
And like we had
so.
to,
Are you saying that that like in these tribes you would have like
the men would take care of like the children and were like more of what Western would consider like feminine,
A feminine thing.
and then the women would do what like we would consider like masculine type things. And like
So they drive trucks and be cool.
Yeah,
and pick up all the men.
that's right, in isolated villages, they're driving trucks. Them and all their technology out there, they're doing that.
Playing sports, and
Playing-
taking names, and boxing,
Kicking
and
ass.
doing cool stuff, kicking ass, taking names.
Just guys being dudes.
just girls being gals.
But I always think that's so interesting. But I don't know. What other trends from 2010 can we? Oh, what about another middle school thing? Remember those bands that like people would wear, and it's like if you broke one, it like meant something. Like if you like broke like a black band, it was like you're supposed to have sex. And if you broke like a orange one, it was like supposed to give a hug or something like that. Like what the hell was going on there?
What?
I don't know. What?
You
Can
really-
you explain further on this?
Yeah,
I
it's-
don't know about this.
It's like these bands that like come from like I don't know, like Oriental Trading or some like generic ass place that sells like high stock of these things, but like there were these bands that you'd wear, like silly bands, that like there was like this secret
They were silly
code.
bands.
There was like this secret code associated with breaking one on somebody else. And I don't.
When was this?
This was like middle school, like 7th, 8th grade. It was.
Why do I not remember this?
I don't know. I think that was like one of the weird things. Obviously, the what's it called? Also, what was it? Party Rock Anthem came out,
Party
so we
Rock
were
Anthem was
obviously
something else.
pretty weird back then. We were going through we were shuffling, so we didn't really stand a chance, did we?
You know, the 2010s were. So one of the big things that I used to do, and Connor, I know you've definitely come with me to do this. Tim, did you ever go to roller skating rinks?
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
Is there one in the boonies, in the sticks?
Look, I find that offensive. No, there
are you
is
sure
not.
you don't just like roll? You just put like some car tires on your feet and like, run down a dirt road or something like that.
No.
I would have to travel to go to a roller skating rink.
How far away did you have to travel?
Enough to the point where I probably didn't do it as much as you guys.
Well, so I used to do it every Saturday.
Yeah,
for, like,
not even.
Yeah,
close.
you used to do it a lot.
Me and my two other friends, we used to go like all the time. We used to go every
Consistently,
Saturday. Yeah, we used to go like every Saturday for like, oh my god, like 4 years. And we were pretty good at it, but it was like roller skating rings are that's another thing. I think roller skating rinks and mini
So
golf are
2010.
2 things that are like really dying.
Dying businesses.
Yeah, dying art.
It's because they don't serve beer.
Could you imagine how dangerous that would be?
A roller
Dude, how
skating
awesome
rink that
that would
serves
be.
beer. I think having
Oh
a
my
bunch of
God.
drunk people out there on the ring is a great idea.
Well, it never stopped people. Like, people would show up wasted.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even joking. People would show up wasted and be like, let's go. And then Party Rock Anthem would go on.
Oh, it's, yeah.
People
you're
would be
talking-
fist bumping while they're going around.
Oh, yeah. I love watching those videos of, like, people at the roller skating rinks in, like, the 70s.
Oh, the guy's
Oh,
got
yeah.
some moves.
Yeah.
They're like
they
doing
used to be,
disco
like,
or whatever.
Yeah, like,
Wa-
that
water
was,
roller
that was,
skating.
that's cool stuff.
They're just going wild. What? So I recently saw a like list of like it was like top 100 songs of 2010. So I saw the one like Rolling Stone made one for the 2000s, and it was pretty good. I forget what the number 1 song was, but like the top 5, like I pretty much agreed with, but in the 2010 one, it's like I don't know, man. I don't know
Bad.
what to think of it. Yeah, it's pretty
Oh,
bad.
believe me, I saw Billboard's top, like the top grossing tracks of this decade, and it's not good.
I just looked up top songs 2010s, and like the 5th thing in is Despacito. Yo, when Despacito 2 come out?
Yeah, we're
You know.
Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. This
Right.
decade will not be remembered for much, to tell you the
What,
truth.
what song would you boys put at the top of the decade?
Oh my god, at the top. Oh,
Get Lucky,
what was-
maybe.
Get Lucky was a good one.
It marks the triumphant return of Daft Punk into the public conscience.
It's true.
But there are probably a million others that I'm forgetting, but that one's just so it's
Right.
such low
Like,
hanging fruit.
you're obviously forgetting the 2015 hit Jumpman by Drake when he came back into the public eye and, said, I think I need some Robitussin. I mean, you can quote that entire song, and you will not have any problems with that.
I think you guys are failing to remember. In the 2010s were the years that Skrillex and the Black Eyed Peas were big.
That's right. That's right. Black Eyed Peas.
I'm
That's right.
in other words, you're grateful this decade is over.
Listen, did
Don't-
you guys used to listen to Skrillex?
Don't
like,
you even bring
all the time?
Bangarang close to this list.
What, you don't like Bangarang?
Or Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites. It's all bad.
What are you talking
It's
about?
all
the
terrible.
the name, like the name,
That defined an era, whether you want to believe it or not.
Bangarang, like when you said the word Bangarang, I just got like an image of the hallway of my middle school. Like that's how like back that takes me. It's like that
I got
image just popped in
goosebumps.
my head. I got goosey bumps.
I get goosebumps.
Yeah, right.
I listen. Do you ever go back to like those early like 2010s
No.
songs?
No.
Oh yeah, what was a song I was listening to the other day that's like from early 2010s? I'll have to find it what it was, but it was a banger. It's like one of those forgotten ones.
Remember Somebody I Used to Know?
Uh,
But you didn't have to cut me.
no, Eric, we're gonna get copyright claimed.
But you...
Sorry, got you. If you'd like to come on this podcast.
Yeah. Guilt.
Guilt?
Is that how you... Got ya?
Got ya.
G-O-T-Y-E. Got ya? Guilt. It's literally spelled like goat.
It's spelled like got
Like
ya.
a weird way.
I
Got
love
ya.
it. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's definitely like Gautier or something.
Gautier. You ever see the music video for that?
Oh yeah, it's like the guy painted guy.
Yeah, it's like I painted, but he just like cries to the camera.
I fail to see the issue with that. Sometimes a guy's just gotta paint himself and cry.
No, I swear, there's a song I was listening to, like, so obviously Party Rocking Anthem. You got to put that up there because
Body rock.
that's a
Yeah.
that literally made people go off in middle school. It was like it played at the dance, and you're like, you were literally like, woo!
Yeah. Well, do you remember the what's it called? Do you remember like the line dances that we would do? Like
The cha-cha slide.
the
The
cha-cha
cha-cha
slide. That was iconic.
Yeah, but that's not
Yikes,
from
yeah.
the 2010s.
But what was that other song?
The Cuban Shuffle?
God.
Cupid Shuffle.
Yes.
Not Cuban.
Yes, that was a big one.
That was a big one,
When
yeah.
did that come out?
That's definitely like early 2000s. Or like 2000s, not in 2010.
Cuban Shuffle. It was 2007.
Oh,
man.
sniped.
There's such a weird like.
Oh, wait.
There's.
No, I'm sorry, go
What?
ahead. I just found the song of the decade.
I mean, there's such a weird like overlap between like the 2000s and the 2010s stuff. I feel like, or maybe it's just the older that we get, the older that we get, the less like we recognize the difference between the 2000s and the 2010s.
Well, did you see the, like, there was like a list of like top 10 rock songs of the decade, and it was like 8 Imagine Dragons songs.
It's exactly
Everybody
what I
was like,
referred to earlier.
oh, really?
Exactly what I referred to earlier, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. It's just like, what the hell? No, jeez.
When did Shooting Stars come out?
You mean Airplanes by B.O.B.?
Yeah, sorry, my mistake.
No, the greatest album of all time came out in 2017. It's often forgot about. The Pink Season album came out.
I was just about to bring up Filthy Frank.
Nickelodeon Girls really changed an era.
Nickelodeon girls, yeah. You know, I would also argue that like the 2010s we saw like the end of like YouTube comedy, like this like weird
Oh, like skit comedy, you mean?
I mean, not like cringe comedy, I don't want to call it, but like Filthy Frank is like a prime example of it, where it was just like you would watch it and you like every time it would leave like this like this weird like feeling in your stomach where it's like I don't know if I like this, but I can't stop watching
It was-
it.
Some would peg it as satire, others will peg it as art. So either
And then,
way,
well, Tim, was Sam Hyde big this like in this decade, or was he
I,
big beforehand?
I guess so. I mean,
I don't see much of Sam Hyde recently.
he still makes videos.
One of my favorite things about Sam Hyde, whenever I see, whenever there's like and this is, the first part of what I'm about to say is not funny, but the second part is. So, you know whenever like there's like a school shooting or something like that, and then you would always see the news articles. This is the unfunny part is the school shootings, but the funny part is every time that the news would pick it up, because 4chan would blow it up saying that Sam Hyde did it, and they always link the same picture of Sam Hyde holding like an M16 or something like that.
It's an
And it'd be
AKM,
like,
actually.
oh, it's an AKM, my
Yeah,
mistake.
it's an AKM.
But they always pinned it on Sam Hyde. This man's life must be tormented.
oh yeah,
He can't keep getting away with it, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the meme.
yet he
It's
still
like-
does.
He can't keep doing it. It's always the same. It's always the same stock image, and it's always across a bunch of different like a bunch of different news like things.
Well, this is definitely like the decade of like Zoomer humor was invented this decade, like without a doubt. Like memes
jokes
just
that
changed
aren't
everything.
jokes.
Right. Like
Like
joke.
anti-jokes.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't even call them anti-jokes. Like they're just. I don't even know what to call them. Like, just like linking. What's it called? Or like when people would put the pacer.
The fitness
pacer
gram
test.
pacer test.
Oh yeah.
Like they would put that as background music for shit. Like things became like
My favorite.
big.
My favorite is when you would when it would just be like a really high pitched squeal, and just be people dancing to it, like what's it called? Like the stealth tone. Do you guys remember the stealth tone?
No.
No.
Stealth
It's-
tone, as in, it's a tone that only younger ears can hear.
Exactly.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
I hate
it's-
you
it's
so
a
much.
sound- It's a sound at a very high frequency that only like younger people can hear.
Oh, that was like 8th or 7th grade. Like people used to have that app on their.
It was my I remember distinctly it was like what's it called? It was like my junior year of high school, and someone thought it was funny to bring it in to band class, and so the professor or the teacher that was directing it, he's kind of a younger guy. He's not like an older person, but like, you know, he's a little, but he's not like a young teacher. Like
He's
he's
in
not
the
like he was
middle.
just out of college. Yeah, he's like this weird like 30s, I'll call it. But so one of these guys started doing it, and so he like you could clearly see that he could hear it, and he kind of just blew it off. And then he called out the person specifically for doing it. He goes, "Turn that off right now," and everyone went.
Stealth tone is not stealth.
Yeah, not so stealth tone.
How much culture, I guess, is not the right word, but how much do you like think that your middle school years affected like what you came to be when you grew up?
Not at all.
Really?
Not at all.
I feel like
Why do you say that?
yeah, I'm
Well-
interested.
Truthfully, I don't think I've grown since middle school. I just think I've taken side steps. Occasional diagonal jumps. I still fall into the same mistakes.
Tim saw his Osiris shoes.
I never did. The thing is I never
Smart.
did.
Yeah, never throw
Yeah,
those
it's because
out.
you walk around in boots all the time to get through the mud, right, Tim?
Yes. Okay,
Tim walks specifically in 10 feet of mud every day to get to school, uphill both
both
ways.
ways.
Both
Yeah.
ways. Damn, you guys are good.
Wait, so what do you mean? What do you mean you
When
like you took side steps?
I took side steps, because the things that you guys are talking about in middle school never really enthused me at all. The closest thing that I can think of me jumping on like the 2010s bandwagon is I owned a pair of Heelys. But beyond that, I don't think I really did anything that everyone else was doing. I played
But it's
video
like-
games and had an Xbox, sure, but everybody did.
But it's like less about that, and it's more like we were talking about how you make like these mistakes in middle school, and obviously like you look back and some of them are cringe. Like how did those like? Were there any life lessons you learned from like the cringy shit that
yeah,
you
Tim,
did?
there had to have been
I
something.
think it was more high school than. But maybe I've just repressed them. That's probably the most likely.
So, are you claiming to never have been a cringe kid in middle school?
We'll validate that.
I don't
Let's vet him.
look into the archives. I know it doesn't sound realistic, but I think I did okay. I think high school is when everything fell apart. Like the moment I hit puberty, since I hit late, like we're talking like at the tip of 8th grade perhaps. At the moment that started happening, all bets were off. Things got bad. But for middle school, no, I think I did okay.
So what? So what's one thing that you saw like get really bad like at the peak of your high school?
At the
Like,
peak of
let's
how
say- let's
bad
say-
high school was,
Well, I mean, whatever. If you want to call it a peak or a low, whatever you want
Just-
to call it.
Like,
what's one thing that you
obsessed
see?
with getting into a relationship. Like, just like obsessed with that.
Well, Tim, thankfully, we have a guest on this podcast. Where we're gonna auction you off to the highest
Oh,
bidder.
that's perfect.
So you try to get with the ladies.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think we
yeah.
all hit that at some point.
I'm just obsessed with women. Just obsessed. Just stupidly obsessed.
interesting.
I'm sure everybody was, right? And nowadays I don't care. I just want to play Street Fighter and play drums.
It's,
I mean, I don't think I was obsessed. I don't think I was. Well,
it's just interesting, like back in middle school. Like I think about it now because like I think about like all the. Really apologize to my girlfriend for saying this. I think about like all the gay shit that I do, like, and I think about like in middle school, like how much like how self-conscious like everybody would like say that, and you'd like feel so offended. And now it's like I do stuff that I would have like revolted at myself back in like middle school, like I don't know, like clothes choice and like I don't know, like some of the things that I find funny now, like they would have aghasted me back then. So like I don't know, man, things change.
so are you saying that the younger that your younger self would be disappointed in your current self just as much as your current self is disappointed in your younger self?
Nah, because I'm cool as fuck. You can take that to the bank.
Because I'm cool as fuck, man.
I don't know, but like there was, I think like back in like those days, like I don't know, like I think it was just like I feel like personally I was like obsessed with making it seem like I wasn't gay because that was just such an insult back then. But like obviously that's not like a thing at all anymore. And like nobody like you back then you have such a like vision about yourself. Like you think that everybody notices you and like every little thing that you do like people care about, and then you like learn that like nobody cares about anybody.
Yeah,
Everybody's
you
too
kinda
focused
just
on
stop
themselves.
giving a shit. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, the more-
Self-consciousness obliterates when you become independent.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't care.
I mean, like, it's not like for me, it's like, it's not that I don't care. Like, there's still, like, a part of me that kind of, like, is constantly thinking about, like, how like, the image that I'm upholding, like holding up in front of other people.
Nah, man.
But it's not like I'm, like, overanalyzing every single thing.
Nah,
where it's
man,
like I
dead
go to bed
wrong.
in, like, cold
Dead
sweats.
wrong. Dead wrong. When I PR,
You did
like
wrong.
I don't think like, oh man, now I'll get the girls. No, I look in the mirror and I go, damn, Tim.